Respected scholars, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. The discussion concerning jinn is without a doubt one of the most important discussions within the religion of Islam, and a discussion which requires a thorough examination, for it's a discussion from which many fundamental lessons may be learnt and many important examples may be derived. As we know, many of us have heard many a story about the world of the jinn. Indeed, we know very well that the world of the jinn is a world that surrounds us, is a world that has affected some of us. But much of our knowledge about the world of the jinn seems to be from superstitious stories, or indeed from folk stories of the culture that surrounds us. Many of us would have heard stories about the world of the jinn, for example, from our grandparents, or indeed from our neighbors. But indeed, you find many people asking the question, what is the reality of the world of the jinn? No doubt that the religion of Islam focuses on the world of the jinn in its literature to a great extent. You find within the Holy Quran there is a surah called Surah Al-Jinn. Surah 72 of the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Jinn, is a surah that highlights the position of the jinn in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sadly, many Muslims have not read this surah with the respect that it deserves. If you were to ask many Muslims in the world today, have they read Surah Al-Jinn? They will reply to you no. If you ask them, have they even reflected upon Surah Al-Jinn? They will say to you no. And therefore you find that when many people ask about the world of the jinn, they sadly don't use the index that is the Quran. As in, if I want to know about the mu'min, I go to Surah Al-Mu'minun. If I want to know about the kafir, I go to Surah Al-Kafirun. If I want to know about the munafiq, I go to Surah Al-Munafiqun. If I want to know about woman, I go to Surah Al-Nisa. Likewise, if I want to know about the world of the jinn, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the index of the Quran has named the whole surah, Surah Al-Jinn. But the problem with many Muslims is that they've neglected the Quran. They may come to read the Quran once in the month of Ramadan, or if you're lucky in someone's wedding. Other than that, there is no reflection on the Quran. You find therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the word jinn 22 times within the Holy Quran. He allows us to understand the world of the jinn. He allows us to understand the power of the jinn. He allows us to understand the interaction of the jinn with the prophets of Allah. Because when you look within the Holy Quran, prophets like Sulaiman alayhi salam, prophets such as the Holy Prophet himself, you find Prophet Adam alayhi salam, all of them would have had an interaction with the world of the jinn. All of them would have provided us with an insight with the world of the jinn. And you find that not just in the Quran is the mention of the jinn, but also in our salutations and our supplications, you find a focus on the world of the jinn. For example, the famous line in Dua Kumail, وَكْفِنِي شَرَّ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ مِنْ أَعْدَائِ. In Dua Kumail you'll find that line, Ya Allah, protect me from the evils of the jinn and the human from my enemies. Correct or no? Many of us may read that line in Dua Kumail without pondering over it. And therefore you find today many people ask the question, is there such a thing as jinn possession or no? When we hear stories of jinn possession in our communities, why is it that there are certain people whose character suddenly changes? Why is it that there are certain people in the world that we live in whose voice changes? Why is it that there are certain people whose life changes? Sometimes you find that such questions are pertinent questions and they need to be answered. Especially now with the world of Hollywood, there is a great focus on the world of the jinn. As in when you see films such as The Exorcist, or films such as The Conjuring, or films such as Annabelle, what are these films? These are films which focus on the demonic spirit, correct or no? They focus on the effects of the demon, the effects of the jinn. When you look at these films, someone asks, does Islam have anything to say about the world of the jinn? As in, surely I can't just rely on what my grandmother taught me about the world of the jinn. There has to be a reality to this world. And of course Islam has that discussion. And one of the most beautiful discussions about the power of the world of the jinn can be seen in the ayah I've quoted at the basis of my lecture. The ayah that I quoted looks at the relationship between the world of the jinn and Nabi Sulaiman alayhi salam. That famous relationship that existed in Surah 27 verse 39 of the Holy Quran. I'd like to examine this particular ayah in order to we're able to understand the reality of the world of the jinn, and I'd like to do this in the following stages. Number one, why does the jinn say to Nabi Sulaiman, I'll bring you her throne before you get up? What did the jinn mean by this? Secondly, why did the jinn say you'll find me strong and you'll find me trustworthy? Thirdly, who replied back to the jinn by saying, no, I'll bring it to you before you blink? And what power did this person